I'll get you in. I'll let you in. Don't worry. Move. Let you in. Come on. Okay. There. Just like that.
Good job, buddy. Hey everybody, it's Alexa with Making Philo. We are in the garden, looking around. Got the goats hanging out with me too, because they are helping eat all of the overgrowth that has come into the garden because Brandon and I weren't able to do things in the garden. I've talked about the injuries that we both had, me with my back, him with his ankle. He just had surgery, all that. Anyway, all of that. So a lot got overgrown and we are resetting the garden this year. And because of that, we need a lot of help. Let me show you. So this area right here technically is an overgrowth. We never planted in this area, but I want to transfer it to have it become a watermelon patch and to grow pumpkins back here. So this is just overgrowth because we fenced in the area, and so Brandon was no longer cutting it. Where the garden kind of ended for us was really right here. You can see this cardboard because we do no dig, so we start with laying cardboard and then we put leaves and compost on top of that. This is the edge, and then all of this was just grass. But again, we put the fence up. And so then Brandon wasn't mowing back here anymore. And so now it's all overgrown. So the goats are helping to eat some of that down. We're gonna lay cardboard over that eventually too. I'll probably take a lawnmower to it as well and then just use the clippings for compost. But anyway, the garden itself ended, where did I show you? Right here, and went all the way down here. This was a path that did have wood chips and other things. This is just all the stuff that has grew over it. This was our corn patch. Let's see. I just took out the peppers from here yesterday. I had some friends come over to help me because my back is still messed up. So they came and helped me to clear some things out, bless them. But yeah, as you can see, like it is, when I show you what it looked like before and then what it's become now, I was like, we gotta reset. So that's what we're doing. It was really great to have community in here yesterday, to have them helping us get things ready. And it just reminded me how important it is to not try to do this work alone. My friend had to literally ask me over and over again for help, and I was like to help me. And I was just so thankful for her persistence because I needed it. And we got a ton done, and I feel a lot better. I mean, yeah, it's good. So I'm excited for what's to come. Today, we have a contractor coming to the property because we are looking at expanding one of the things we've really wanted to do here at Philo. For those of you that don't know, Philo is our homestead, but Philo is also where we host a lot of events and do different things, for people. We purchased this property for that. The goal was to serve others. How can we use this property to serve other people? And we've had incredible ways that we've been able to do that, whether it was women coming out of sex trafficking and getting to partner with an organization in Atlanta. We had Christmas together, or we did a Christmas dinner together. We've had just hangout times together. It came and fish. Like for us, that's the heartbeat. And so we've hosted homeschool groups, birthday party, like we've done all kinds of different things. So what we're trying to do though is add bathrooms, and I'm going to take you over to where we're trying to do that. Okay, so we are at the side of our house, right? Our little cottage house here. Right now, you're looking at the entrance that goes to our basement. There's a white door right there. That is how you get in. Now, this area right here is crumbling. The retaining wall, it has a bunch of issues. Brandon's been saying that since we moved in. We bought the house March of 2022. So he's been saying that basically since he saw this, that it was gonna need to be replaced. We had someone come on Wednesday and they confirmed, you have 6 months to a year, and that's gonna have to go. So that was helpful for us, because what we recognized was that since we were gonna have to fix this anyway, it was an opportunity to expand it. Now, by expanding this opening, the reason I want to do that is because we also want to finish the basement so that we can add public restrooms in it. Now, our goal with the basement, because it's such a large, it spans our entire first floor, so there's a lot of good living space there. And what we were thinking is that part of that living space area will be for if we ever have people stay with us, if someone needs, a place to stay with us long term or something like that, or if it's family visiting, but that would be kind of separate from what would be more of the public facing side, where we'll have a kitchenette, we'll have bathrooms for people who need, who come for the events that we host. And that has been something we've been wrestling for a while. After we've hosted a wedding here, we've hosted birthday parties. I've mentioned some of the things that we've done where we're like, man, it would be really helpful to have extra restrooms, but that's not something you can just pull out of nowhere to do. And the only reason that we're able to do it is actually because of the eminent domain situation that we aren't happy about, but we have been trying to just give ourselves to the Lord and say, okay, you knew what was coming. How can we use this to further the mission of Philo and the hospitality we're trying to show? Because if you're not familiar, so eminent domain is something that you can't fight. Our land is being taken by a company who wants to build the transmission poles. I think it's transmission is the right word. Transmission poles for a data center that's being built in another part. Like that's not on our property, but not too far from it. And so that data center needs the poles. This company is building them all throughout our neighborhood. We've already seen several go up. Now they're the 3/4 of an acre they had to pay for, right? So they are taking it. I can't fight it, but they also have to pay for it. And so with that money that they are paying us to take that part of our land, we then said, Lord, how can this go back into the mission of hospitality? And so looking at building a building, that was going to be too much. Some of the other things we were looking at were like, okay, I don't know if that's the best way to steward the money. And so that's when we realized we have to fix this anyway. Why not look at finishing the basement to at least be able to add these public restrooms so that people can just enter in and they have that. I'm really excited. I've got work to do on the design side of things. I love this part of design and dreaming up spaces and all of that. So I got more work to do there, but that is something that we're really excited about doing. So there's some happenings with the Making of Philo. Not necessarily Homestead, but it is hospitality, which is the other huge part of what we do. Okay, we had the meeting with the contractor. It went really well. We went and looked outside. He gave us some good feedback that actually made more sense. He just gave us some ideas that we hadn't even been thinking about in terms of adding in a septic tank in order for us to add the bathrooms that we need to in the basement. Which just long-term makes more sense than adding a bunch of sump pumps. Anyway, there were details he went over that were really good. We got to talk about the kitchenette, the pantry, the living areas down there. So all the details, it was really good. There are a couple of things that we got to get a little creative around, but for the most part, we'll be able to get it done. It's the plumbing is going to be the biggest thing, which happens a lot. But when you're adding in 3 bathrooms, technically, there's a lot that goes into that. So we're excited. Still got a long way to go, but it's looking good. But now I'm going to switch gears and we're going to talk about seeds. Okay. Okay, I have a lot of seeds in here, and one of the things that I want to be a good steward. I want to be a good steward of land. I want to be a good steward of what we're doing with our animals. I want to be a good steward with my seeds. So I'm excited. I want to buy new seeds. There are varieties I'm looking at already, but I was like, Alexa, you got to go through what you have. So one of the things that has been really helpful to me is one, having this kit thing. I really like it. It's supposed to be used for scrapbooking. I use this for storing seeds. It's incredible, super just easy. Everything is right here. So I highly recommend this. It's been very helpful to have. But I have a lot of different seeds that I know. I like to kind of go through this and then kind of get a feel for what is it that I want to grow? What is it we need to grow? What do I want to grow? What space do we have in the garden? You know, it's important to consider all of those things, and it can feel complicated, but it's really not. So one of the things that I do is I'll separate plants that I do for planting in the garden, specifically to kind of help be companion plants to other plants that I'm putting in there. So like nasturtiums, for example, that is one plant that I use for companion planting quite a bit. But then I'll use my basil to plant alongside my bell peppers, and that has always been a beautiful combination. My bell peppers have done really well. My basil always grows really well. I get too much of it most of the time. So those are some things that I'll kind of try to keep together sometimes, just to help me know, because my nasturtium, I don't really use them as plants when I'm making arrangements in my house in our cut flower garden. For those, I'll use something totally different. So anyway, that's just one way that I try to separate them as I'm learning. Some of it just helps to make it easier when I'm grabbing stuff and running out to the garden. We have all my sunflowers, some of the seeds that I grew last year that I really liked. Here's one. This one is always a fun one. This is my girl. I love this one right here. This thing says it's only supposed to be 6 to 8 feet tall. That's what it says on the back. Let me tell you, they lying. It doesn't. This thing goes to 10 feet, 12 feet. Like, we get some really large sunflowers, and I'm here for it. I absolutely love it. The Velvet Queen is exactly that. She is as beautiful as you think based on this picture. So I've loved that. And then these give us a little smaller varieties. Sunflowers are my favorite flower, so I like to really go in with those. So the good news for me, I have a lot of them. Now what I want to do is succession plant. This one is empty, so I'm not going to keep this, but this one I have more of, this is my favorite. And one thing I've wanted to do is have it available in the fall. This past year I didn't succession plant. In part I've shared because of the back issues and stuff, and I couldn't do any gardening. So this year I really want to, so that I can have this beautiful color in the fall. I mean, look at that. So I feel really good about sunflowers. Now these are the ones that I don't have self-control on, so I will probably still buy another type of sunflower to add to the ones that I'm already growing, just because I love them so much. And as you can see, these were a lot of M.I. Gardner. M.I. Gardner has great, everything I've ever bought from them has been excellent. I also use this company right here, dollarseed.com. They've always actually done really well too. So between them, M.I. Gardner, and then of course we all know and love Baker Creek. That's another brand that I will buy from. Let me end this. Bless you. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I'm curious, are you even starting to think, being in Georgia and, on a 60-degree day, I can be thinking about the garden, but some of you are like snuggled up in a snowy city somewhere, not even maybe thinking about the garden yet. But I'm curious if you are, just what does that look like for you? And not in a sense to rush winter. I actually love winter because it is an opportunity to dream, but not at the expense of like trying to skip through this time, but really just savoring the moments of resting. When you rest, you're able to better dream. And that is what I love about winter. I always used to kind of like not like it or whatever, but I realized how just death and the cycle of that actually brings new life. And when things die, that allows for the new life of spring to come. And you realize how much is actually happening in winter. It seems like everything's just dormant, and there are aspects of that, but then there's also aspects of things are happening or laying the foundation for life to come. It's just so necessary. And so that's how I'm thinking about, even as I'm working in the garden and preparing, I'm looking at the land and I'm just thinking, okay, you aren't supposed to be vibrant in the way that you are in July. You're not supposed to be that right now. And so even as I'm out there clearing things out and stuff, I'm thinking about that, because I think that the rhythms, the way God created these rhythms of the season, it is so necessary to help us also remember how necessary that is in our own life. So that even as we're resting, we're not wishing away. As I think of spring, I'm not wishing away winter, but I'm really leaning into, like, this is the time where my mind can think and be present to this. Because come planting season, I'm going to be very in the doing in that mode, right? But right now I get to think, I get to plan, I get to dream, but it's because I'm in a place of rest. So take with that what you want. Bless you. As always, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope that wherever you are, you know that you are dearly loved, because it's true. You matter. You are a significant person. And most of all, you are beloved. So don't forget it. See you on the next one.